Travis's section, right, was just basically like you think that he's Superior Man. It's just about fighting, but there's a nuance to. I mean, even without picture, like Bruce and I, we talked about, right? Like when he was breaking down just the sort of stuttering in his voice, it gave us chills. So it's not just, there's an investment, I feel like, with all of you guys. And there was, as somebody that's basically taking sounds and trying to match a picture to the sound, and looking sometimes to, the vocal performance, what is the word being said, the potential emotion that's behind it. You guys all gave us something really, clear to grasp onto and to sort of, shine up and pick out. Again, there's just so many great, I feel like, moments. One of the things I got to give Bruce also is the speech at the end. Bruce rewrote it, and
just a bit of it.
but it made me think of, because your wife is there, Marta, right? And I was just thinking of like, wow, Marta must love you because you wrote such a beautiful sort of, it's the thing of like the retirement thing of, oh, I don't know, maybe I'll, go to a beach or cure the common cold, or be with the most beautiful woman. This is him rewriting it, like sort of the day before. So I just felt like it was so personal, and it was just really beautiful, So.
I don't have a single scene. I mean, there's so many good scenes. I love the scene in the limo between Luthor and Lois. I love that he's kind of being a dick, and then she gives him this wonderful present that's like perfect. And I love Dietrich's little quiet little perfect taste as always. It's like it's so good, There's just tons of little moments like that throughout the whole thing. I'm glad somebody, I guess Vanessa mentioned the silent explosion at the end. Sam had already we had already kind of talked about that we were going to do it silent, and then our sound effects guy put a sound effect on that. We forgot to tell him, don't put a sound effect on that. And he came up with a really, really good sound effect for the explosion. And we're like, that's awesome, but we're going to do it silent. So, there's tons of stuff. I mean, Sam and I are both huge Svetlana fans. I think she's like the star of the movie for me. Like that scene at the very beginning when she's chasing after the bullies and she, beats that one guy up and throws a rock at his head. She's my hero. So, yeah.
All right, we got a couple minutes for some questions. State your name when I call you on you, and we'll go with this fellow right here.
Hi, my name is Ilya. Nice to meet you all. Thank you for a wonderful performance. I just wanted to say this question is actually for Roger and Jason. I'm also Russian as well, a child of Russian immigrants who are refugees from the Soviet Union. And this comic book was a big deal for me, and I was excited to finally hear what the voices sounded like. And my concern was like, okay, here we go, we're going to have a very cheesy Russian accent. But you guys did a flawless job. You didn't make it sound like it was overacted James Bond Russian villain. It was an authentic Russian accent. And I was just kind of curious in your own experience and what you went through, what did you do to kind of like really learn it and flesh it out and really take it apart and put it into your character, especially for both of you guys?
Thanks. Can you all hear that, by the way? Yeah. Good. Thanks for that. Actually, so I played a Russian in a film called Hotel Mumbai that was out last year, and so I researched it a fair old bit, and the truth is that an authentic Russian accent for someone who's not spent lots of time outside Russia does sound like a James Bond villain. The problem is a real Russian accent sounds just like that. It sounds corny. But there's two things going on here. One, I didn't want to do that because he's still Superman. You have to be able to engage with him, find out what he cares about when he's upset, and relate to him. And secondly, he's speaking his first language. These characters who are speaking Russian, who are Russian, are speaking their first language to each other. As soon as you speak with a thick accent, the message you're sending to the audience is this is not their first language, they're translating there. So luckily there's a bunch of Russian expats all over the world. Russia has a giant diaspora now. And I found a bunch of source material I looked at for Hotel Mumbai. There's reality shows of Russians in London, Russians in America. And there was a guy I found on YouTube, and I had his voice in my head. And he sounded to me like it was a lightly touched in accent, enough to remind you where it was from, but not so much that it brought all the baggage with it. That's all right. But
you can hear me, right?
For me, it was Rounders with John Malkovich. Kid did me and his money. Just all day long, over and over and over again. No, I have a dialect coach, a woman by the name of Paula Glott, and I believe she's got a new, really hard to pronounce last name. She's been married, and she is like, she will forget more about dialects than we will all ever hope to learn. And I came in fully prepared to do a very, very thick Russian accent, and this is where the collaborative process of working with everybody on the other side of the glass, Wes and Bruce and Sam, and everybody telling me, hey, we're going to do it like this, or not so much there, so that it doesn't kind of jar. So it's a big collaborative thing, but dialect coach, and then again, Piedet's me and his money. Just go over and Oreo cookies.
Well, you guys were wonderful. I was
Thank you.
expecting for you to do actually like Russian transcripts almost in Russian, especially the scenes in Russia talking to each other. It's probably-
By the way, you talk about being collaborative. You know that we don't ever record with each other. It's one of the odd things about animation. There's these group scenes, and it's a tribute to everybody put it together, Wes and everybody else, that it sounds like we were ever in a scene together, because I was in England most of the time, recording it on over the line.
Next. How about right here?
Speak super loud so that people write the line.
Name's Tim. Nice to meet you guys. You guys did an amazing job. Super awesome. This is definitely aimed at whoever was involved in the writing. This is not a complaint. Just having read the book and how they ask. Why no twist ending?
The twist ending. Oh, the ending from the comic. Yeah. Oh, that crazy jump start into the future
Yeah.
thing. It's mostly practical. It's a fascinating ending. Here's the thing. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't read the comic. You should absolutely go read it. It's great. But the ending was just kind of a production nightmare. It's like having to design like 3 futuristic stages of humanity going off into the far future would be just kind of like way beyond our means to be able to do on the time and budget that we had to work with. And we did discuss it a little bit just in terms of, and again, I don't want to spoil it, but we did talk about it, but it was just kind of like, yeah, we'll stick with this.
I mean, I was obviously just curious. It worked obviously well either way. So like that was, no complaint there. But just that.
Thank you, Ken. How about Sam's got.
I'll try to keep this short, but for me, right, one of the things that, I don't know, I'm a big sort of like flow person. I feel like the ending of the movie needed to be about Superman. And so I felt like the twist was about a twist that was about a thing that sort of made it finite, because it was a thing that sort of, it basically, to me anyway, when I read it, there was no alternate solution. It goes to this and then it resets.
Yeah.
And so it's a finite loop. And I kind of felt like, okay, that's tricky, and that's a great fun, sort of fun, clever thing, but emotionally, I don't think it does anything. You know what I mean? It's just clever for clever's sake kind of thing. I kind of felt like even in the end, there was a different line for then the Svetlana sort of just coming back to him.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was because of the cleverness of Luthor, but I again, like we've had a discussion. I was just like, it's got to be about Superman, and we got to close him as a character. It's like he returns to basically his innocence again.
It worked out really
And
well.
nobody recognizes him in that hat, which is awesome.
Thank you. All right, Yuri.
Sure question. My name is Yuri. Jason, how many films? How many films are you going to kill Stalin in?
Many as I can.
Had to go for the humor there. Here's somebody waiting. All right, right there in the middle.
All right. Hey guys, my name's Sam. Thought you all did fantastic performances. Excellent chemistry between everyone in the cast. Loved it. Now,
Who's best? That's what you're going
Okay, so here's my question, and Jason, this is for all the actors, everyone. You guys did great too. Love you, Bruce. All right, but if you had a character, you played a dozen characters before. If you had a character to do over again, just for the sake of, I could have probably done that better. Who would they be and why?
You mean if we were to switch characters, or?
Oh, no. But Oh, just
throughout our entire career, which part will we
Pretty
do
much.
again?
Did you fuck up?
Diedrich is asking about Office Space, by the way.
Oddly enough, I had a different character for Lawrence before walking in. I had just seen Bottle Rocket, which is an absolute masterpiece if you've never seen it. Anyway, I can't do it now, but I had worked up a whole Owen Wilson impression for Lawrence, because I was like, well, they're going to shoot in Austin, and he's from Austin, and that's going to be really cool. So I signed in, and I sat down, and Owen Wilson walked out. So I checked the sheet, which I did not look to see who else was signing in, but he was reading for Lawrence. So I had to come up with an entirely different character, because I couldn't do a better Owen Wilson. Between the sign-in sheet and the, the room. So that was, that's what I came up with.
We hear a little work.
Yeah, no, I but I thought every performance was really fantastic, and it's really interesting what Jason has said, because it does rely so heavily on these guys that, to get the same tone all the way through, and have a commitment to the scenes, to not overplay them. We could have been much more cartoony, but the threats were real, the consequences were real, and the choices felt like they had great import. And I was particularly struck by that.
Anybody else, or we?
I speak for everyone when I say we would play differently all the parts in series we've been in, which have been cancelled.
All right, how about right there?
I'm Nick. This is for Sam and Bruce. I just want to talk about the DC showcases. I'm a huge fan of the showcases, and I'm so happy you guys brought them back. And Death, the last one, Sam, phenomenal. The process of deciding what to do for what stories to tell.
We basically we meet with the DC guys like every week basically, and have like just kind of a roundtable discussion. But we talk about things that are currently in production, where they're at, and kind of looking down the road. It's like, oh, what else would we be interested in doing? So when the idea of bringing back the DC Showcase shorts came up, it basically came down to, well, what characters would me and Butch and Sam be interested in doing? And we basically just kind of like said, oh, well, I'd be into this character, and Sam immediately went to, I want to do Death! And, I've always loved the Phantom Stranger since I was a little kid. It was like literally one of the first comics that turned me into a comic book fan. So it's really just, it's about that. It's kind of like, oh, I've always liked that character. I think I could do an interesting story here with this. And, it's kind of just fun. It's like, it's kind of a breeze. I mean, it's work as well, obviously. But Sam sweat bullets over his short. I can tell you stories, which I won't. Yeah, so it's just kind of like, it's just us, exercising our inner geeks. Sam, you got anything to say about it?
That's pretty much it. I mean, it's weird too, because so much of it is some of it's timing. I was fortunate enough that I feel like, even though like James and Bruce are fans of like video game and stuff, I don't know if they love it per se. You know what I mean? It's like there's things that they love that I don't love it, but I liked it. But Death I loved, or the whole Neil Gaiman Sandman thing. That's just when I started my career, that was the thing that I wanted to do, and apparently it was on the table for a little while, right? Because you guys were just kind of like, I don't know if I could do something with it, but I was just like, are you guys crazy? Like, give it to me, So, so sometimes it's luck and it's timing and it's things like that, So.
We have time for one or two more questions. All right, all the way in the back. Okay, you, the one waving her hand. Yes.
Sorry. Hi. I just had a question for the actors. As an actor myself, just starting out, what kind of advice can you give to an actor just starting out in the industry?
I'd say this very quickly. If you've got a smartphone, you own the whole studio. And don't wait for someone to hire you. That I hope will happen to you. Who knows what path you take there, but make things. Make things not to make money, make things just to make things. And practice and edit, you can store, you can VFX on iMovie, you can broadcast it, you can even make money, and you can find other people to make them with. And you'll end up, whatever happens to you, getting more satisfaction out of anything you make than anything you're in that someone else makes.
All right. Oh, the man with the Green Lantern thing there.
First I want to, sorry. Did you say shirt or Green Lantern?
No, the recharger. Yeah, you guys got to fight it out. He brought a prop. He gets to ask a question.
First, I want to thank Vanessa because I was lost outside and she helped us get here.
Yeah, made it.
wonderful.
Thank you very much.
She drives Uber on the way home if you need help.
My question is for Sasha. I love when the Lantern Corps showed up. I freaked out. It was my favorite scene in the whole movie, and not that nothing else was great. Everything was perfect.
I know.
I mean, he is holding a Green Lantern. That's a slight advantage.
But I'm curious here because we didn't get a lot of time with Hal, so I'm curious your kind of take on Hal. I mean, clearly he's a guy without fear. He was ready to go up against Superman, who was slowly taking over the world. So I just kind of wanted to get a little bit of your perspective of what interested you in the character, and did you think he had balls the size of the ones he had on screen to go against Superman?
First of all, I'm very grateful to be a part of this. So this is a relatively new world for me, and it's been a lot of fun. I'm not somebody who grew up on all of these characters, so they're also relatively new for me. So just to, my own perspective was just, this is a great patriot, and this is somebody who was going to do anything at any cost, and truly believed that he was going to be victorious, but clearly was not. But I also, I enjoyed the character. I enjoyed the snide sort of remarks on the side, and I had a great time doing it.
I grew up on Air Force bases watching planes take off, and I always wanted to be Hal Jordan, so you did a great job, man.
Thanks, pal. I appreciate it.
I was interested in the aspect, the balls aspect. You missed that a bit.
Big, very big. Yeah.
All right, last question. I'm going to the guy in the back of the room.
Hi, my name is Malcolm. I'm a YouTuber. I have a question for Sasha, which is an off-base question.
Okay.
It is not related to Superman, Red Sun. That's okay. So Sasha, what was it like performing an incredible cast with the show Grimm, which none of you basic bitches saw?
Did you just throw shade at the whole room?
The greatest.
I mean, I don't want to hog up the stage talking about Grimm, but thank you very much for your support. And, I had a great time. It was 6 wonderful years, and I'm grateful for fans like yourself who watch and support it. So thank you.
All right. One more, not from a YouTuber. Right here in the front.
My name's Sarah. You guys touched a little bit on the politics, but I just am wondering how you feel about people who say politics should stay out of superhero stories. I'm not one of those people, but my brothers are, and I honestly think so.
Just tell them they're wrong.
Well, my basic thing is I always felt like, as a kid, like superheroes were just inspired. I think that superheroes are like modern mythology, and I think that, I mean, it's a different company, but like Stan Lee, I think that he championed a lot of things about racism, sexism, and inclusion, and so I think absolutely superheroes should be about doing what's right, about a higher ground. So that's my opinion.
All right, when we're done, I'm going to need Ilya, Tim, Nick, and Sarah to meet me over here. And in the meantime, I want to say thank you to all for coming. Don't forget to run out. You don't have to go out. You can do it tonight. You can do it right now. Pick up your phone. Buy the film on digital. Tell all your friends. Keep tweeting. Keep Instagramming. Hashtag Superman Red Sun. Available on Blu-ray and 4K on March 17th. Very good. I want you to say thank you to Sasha Lee.